legitimate stories, but that's how I grew up knowing it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
When I was taught of the war, it was more focused on the Battle of Adwa, how Menelik and do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't really focused past that point, and
yeah.
that's probably because my bloodline don't stem from that region, whereas
Mine does.
so she would know more of it because it affects her bloodline rather than mine. Does that make sense?
Sisters, yeah. I hope you lot can stay. I'm just gonna pop out for 5 minutes. I'll be back, but I'm gonna say to the brothers, please try and make sure that the sisters, especially if this conversation continues to stay about their region that they are from, please make sure that they're facilitated and included in the convo. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Yeah, sisters, please stay, and anyone else that wants to jump on, man.
Yeah, I always got taught that the Battle of Adwa was a great battle, and Menelik done his thing and he tried his hardest, you know what I'm saying, to push back the invaders, and everybody from all the regions tried to help to get them people out of the country. You know what I'm saying?
And and to Real Talk 13, I know that he's sorry because he's I don't know if you can see what he's put in the chat. He said, MD, you are allowed to alter your opinion when new truths are presented. Absolutely. That's why I said when it comes to that part of the history, Axum is more equipped at speaking on it than I am, because at the end of the day, it affected her bloodline more than it affected mine. And that's because we're from different regions. Do you see what I'm saying? So
but hold on. Ain't Menelik before Selassie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So then the real war doesn't start till Selassie, no?
Yeah, and the thing is, we don't even like Selassie.
Yeah,
that's a killer and murderer for us Eritreans.
And there are even Ethiopians that have a disliking to Selassie, Haile Selassie as well.
Well, not really. What do you know what he did?
There's Jamaicans.
No, like I'll be honest. Look, because my friend.
Wait.
So I have a friend from the same region, yeah, but her family are all Muslims, and they don't have a good opinion because they felt persecution from Haile Selassie. Whereas I have no knowledge of that because I had the privilege to be born into the religion and into the ethnic group that was the ruling class at the time. Do you see what I'm saying?
You're claiming the works though of Haile Selassie, as in not allowing y'all to be conquered, right? That's one thing you can universally say. No, we've never been conquered. We've never been conquered.
No, I never said anything about Haile Selassie. I didn't even mention Haile Selassie.
No, you didn't say that. You said never been conquered, right? That's the main point, right?
Yeah, that we've never been colonized.
Right, you've never been colonized. So even in the time of Haile Selassie, yeah, you still never got colonized, no?
I still disagree.
But this is when you're talking economical. There's a difference if you're trying to talk about economical colonization, because with industry and stuff like that, yeah, of course. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm saying
there are a lot of sellouts within the government. Do you know what I'm saying?
You didn't see that he got subdued by these forces and had to appeal to different people to try and help him, and then in the end, who came in to help?
At the end of the day,
hold on.
I'll come in after.
Who came in to help with the British? Now, the funny thing is, you can go down to the embankment and there's a plaque and it says Protectorate of England, and it says Ethiopia, Somalia, and Eritrea, and even Somaliland.
Yeah, but Ethiopia.
I know. What I'm saying is,
something special about the place that they couldn't leave it out. It was only one of the only places that was referenced, like more than once, that something comes from Ethiopia. Especially.
What I'm saying is when we all know when Britain help you to get rid of a problem that you have, yeah, they want something in return, and it seems in return, your country was given up. That's the only thing. So. You know, like you wasn't colonized at a certain time, yes, but afterwards it seems that the whole thing was handed over.
It's not in the Europeans. Same, but it's not the same context.
Can I say how I got taught it though, sis? Can I say?
Yeah, go ahead.
so sorry to cut you, sis, because how I got to it was Africa was forward thinking, especially Ethiopia, because at them times they had airlines running, they had shit going down. You get me? Their country was very forward thinking, innit? So, like, I don't think Ethiopians were dumb, innit? They even had exchange students and all this different shit going on in the country. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So,
are they part of the Commonwealth?
Sorry?
Are they part of the Commonwealth?
I don't think so. You'd have to ask sister. I don't think so. I don't think.
Does anyone know? I don't know. I think there might be still.
But there were over 5 provinces that were ruled over by the Italians. And one of them is Sioa, where Addis Ababa is. Then you have Amara. Then you have Gaya, Sidamo.
You can't say Amhara. Hold on, Amhara. This is the thing. You can't say Amhara. Amhara is our nations of people. You have people in Gojam is Amhara, and they're in the northwestern highlands, and that's a big difference between from where Gojam is to where Wollo is on the other side. That's also Amhara. Showa is Amhara. Addis is Amhara. Do you know? The Amhara. Do you know how there? No one can make. You can't make this make sense within a 5-year period. You think that a band of how many thousands of Italians are gonna now take over land they don't know within the highland regions that they're not used to, in heat that they're not accustomed to, from people born and raised to fight in those lands, hunt lions in those lands.
It's impossible.
You know what I'm saying? Cultivate those lands. You're gonna say that this band of people who are gonna have to reload bullets, it's not machine guns that they have over the warriors the juggernauts that are there. No, I'm not claiming they didn't overtake certain cities or certain regions, but as an entire country, no, that's madness. They didn't do that.
But how was that stopped? But how was that stopped if not the British?
Well, do you know what? Hold on. But can I ask you, Ellery, just for clarity? You know, all the information that you've received on it, or you've done investigation on it, have any of those sources been of Ethiopian historical scholars that came from historical scholars from our actual country?
The scholars that I've read, they're not Ethiopian, no.
Right. Maybe what I would suggest first, before going into further depth, what I'll do, I'll give my uncle a call and I'll gather some names for you, and then later, obviously it's late now, but tomorrow, if you're in the chat, I'll make sure to paste it in or send it to Jedi, so when you do come, you can do further research and actually hear the history rather from the outside forces. Hear the history being told by the scholars of the people who actually live in the land that is being talked about. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree.
But do we agree that the Italians did come in there and they did have to pay reparations?
Yeah, they had to.
I never said the Italians didn't come, and I don't know the complexities of governmental, things. What I do know is that the English basically supposed to be allied with Ethiopians, yet provided no weaponry during the war with the Italians. Do you see what I'm saying? Because ultimately, they wanted the Italians to rule us. Do you see what I'm saying? Hence why the Haile Selassie had to go elsewhere for those arms. But I mean, like I said, go definitely. I'll find those names for you, and I'll send it over to Jedi whenever you pop back into the chat or up here. Yeah, because
it ties in a little with what Sniper was saying when he brought in the British, because they did sign that Anglo-Ethiopian agreement thing, which kind of got rid of the Italians, and through the British, they were able to have their independent statehood and stuff. But yeah, I'll look forward to it just surprised me, because for years I'd always been told there'd been no colonization. So I was surprised when I read about the Italians. I was like, what the hell? And I didn't even know the Italians had land in Libya and Somalia as well. I was like,
Larry, it's a false colonization. Trust me, man. It's just a land grab. Like a greedy white man.
That is colonization, though, Fred.
And
to a certain extent, but it's not full colonization, because I like to think colonization is when you run every crevice corner of the country. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that is what happened.
That's not.
No, but
That's not true.
I would
That's
say
not
to
true.
Ellery, do you know, even if you look at the Italians, yeah,
So
and the people
it's
that
a
you
quick
get
land grab. I'd like to describe it as a land grab.
And the people that you could get your sources from, yeah, know how bloodthirsty and barbaric they were. Like I know from some Somalian sisters that I know from there was certain places where the women actually took their daughters and jumped off cliffs before, rather than being raped by the Italian soldiers. Do you see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say to trust everything that these people give to you about the history of the Horn. Do you see what I mean?
Can I interject a little bit? For us, was the Italians better than Haile Selassie? I've heard a lot of people saying that, because the Italians at least helped build up Asmara and the railway from the sea up to the mountains. So and Haile Selassie just killed everyone in Eritrea, like everyone. So I don't know about
interesting.
Yeah, no, but it's for real. And like I said, I can't really speak when it comes to Aksum's experience, because like I said, I just so happened to be the one that was born into a religion and an ethnic group that was actually in a position of privilege at that time. Do you see what I'm saying? So I would never knock a person for saying, oh, they dislike this about us, or this person was better, or this, because at the end of the day, they had a different experience to what I had. Do you see what I'm saying? So I respect Aksum's experience and her views.
100%.
Sniper, do you remember that day those Rastafarians were debating in Speaker's Corner about Haile Selassie? And they had different beliefs. And I asked one guy, so wait, you don't believe Haile Selassie died? He goes, no. So I said, so what happened to him? He goes, oh, he just disappeared.
Yeah, but man, everyone.
I think I was in that debate.
What you got to understand is everyone's got their own interpretation of what they believe in, innit? So it's not a monolith thing, like where everyone's gonna follow the same thing and we pray at the same time. And
I like the other Rasta guy who was there. When the Rasta guy, the one Rasta told me he had disappeared, the other one went, nah, man, don't tell him that, man. Don't tell him. You know, not all Rastas think that, man. Don't tell him. They were gonna fight.
Just had to correct him. Yeah, just had to correct him and let him know that not all Rastas think like that. You know what I'm saying?
It was different things.
Like I used to get even mad when you criticized the king, Haile Selassie.
Yeah, you had to get that work, man. You had to get that work.
I used to get pissed when you used to criticize him, or anybody criticizes him. But then
Indian man there,
sorry, Freddie. I don't want to be some disrespect for you guys, but still, like, we don't feel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I know, and I understand fully your point of view. Trust me, man. I'm fully understanding it. I don't even look at Haile Selassie as how I used to when I was a child. Because remember, when I was a child, I used to have to know the anthem, learn Amharic, all this other stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like, do all this other stuff, watch the documentaries, everything. You get what I'm trying to say? Man, now I'm older, obviously, I understand what it is, isn't it? Like, I can gather that people got hurt over there, and I feel their pain too. No matter what happens, I feel their pain.
When you understand that, a man
just for the record, I'm not saying that Haile Selassie is a saint or anything like that.
I'm saying a man had to sell his soul to Britain. Do you get what I'm saying? To get these wicked and crafty Nazis and these communists off his back. Yeah, because Mussolini was only following in Hitler's footsteps. He wanted to bring that type of thing. You know what I mean? The whole of Italy didn't agree with Mussolini. You know what I'm saying? The Sicilians didn't have it. They made sure they tried to sabotage him in Italy. So, yeah, all that mafia stuff. They weren't having it.
That's one good opinion, man. That's one good opinion.
And
there's other opinions, isn't it? Like, these people knew that the unjust genocide was going to happen.
Think about it.
No, I'm just looking at it on the flip side, isn't it? Saying that the people knew that unjust genocide was going to happen, isn't it? Like, and they know that the carving for Africa, Ethiopia was supposed to get left out of it because there's something special about that land. You get what I'm trying to show you? That's what I believe. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm just saying that. Look, People have been going in and out of that land for thousands of years. We're nomadic people. Like it couldn't have been the same people there in ancient times that are there now. Like we're trying to prove this to people. When people are talking about Israelites and all of this type of stuff, yeah, we can believe that. But Israelites came from somewhere else to settle in those areas. You know what I mean? Far up in the Middle East. You got what I'm saying? In the other horn.
I just think the way Ethiopia has been referenced, like the whole of Ethiopia, this includes Eritrea, everything. The way the place is referenced with such beauty and honor. Do you get what I'm trying to show you? Among all the African countries, it seems like the jewel to me, looking from afar. Do you get what I'm trying to show you? Like, no matter how much flies you show me, how much poverty, it still looks dope to me. Like
it's just part of a bigger area. Like when you get the knowledge and you know, like people start saying Egypt and then they get back to Kemet, and then when I say you get back to Tamare, then we're talking about from the edge of the Mediterranean all the way to Lake Victoria. That was Egypt, or whatever you want to call it. So like we can go all the way back. It's still going to be a beautiful land, yes, but it's got a deep history that people don't want to talk about, or people refer to one part of it and say, yeah, that's Egypt. No, the whole thing was Egypt at one stage. People keep saying yes, but then when we get down to it, people's talking about other stuff, shit that came after, which is all well and good. But as I said, we migrate from different places and settle in the places where our ancestors used to be in that. You know what I mean?
I'm just thinking it's got a major part to play in Christianity, Ethiopia. It's got a major part to play in Judaism. It's got a major part to play in fucking Islam. Islam. Sorry for saying effing. Sorry for swearing. It's got a major part to play in Islam. You get me? Come on, man. Like, you've got to be something about this country. That's dope.
It's something about
Sudan was Christianized.
Yeah, it's something about the continent is dope, man. It's a dope continent.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, but there's always a jewel in the crown, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I get you. But as I said, we wouldn't even put our jewels on display. We're not even like that. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing
jewel ain't Nigeria. It ain't a green jewel, is it?
No, well, it could be. Do you get what I'm saying? You know, the land of milk and honey and whatever. If things can grow there and all of that, and we got gold and diamonds under our feet and oil under our feet, it must be the place that the Most High said, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, guys, but I'm not a nationalist, so I don't really care in propping up Nigeria. I
know. I'm trying to get under Mackie's skin, Uncle. Don't worry. I'm trying to get under Mackie's.
We got the highest populations of Africans on the whole continent residing in that spot, so it must be decent still. You get it? They'll rather go there than any other place in Africa. Imagine that.
Nah, man, the bowl spots are cool, man. The bowl spots are cool. You get me? I can't wait to go to Nigeria myself, but I'm waiting for like a summer jam or WizKid concert or everyone's on it. Yeah, I'm waiting for something nice to happen. You get me?
A scatter, man. I'm waiting for that. A scatter, a summer special, summer splash. A scatter, a summer splash. You know,
something like that.
Where the best scatter comes across the land from every part. You get me? Eritrea and a scatter, yeah, everything.
Eskista, Marco. Eskista.
Okay,
I know he said it wrong perfectly,
innit? Whatever you call it.
Sounds scatty.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say to the ladies, Nana Nesh.
Yeah. Oh, I'm missing Nalo. Big up. But I'm Gomez.
Nigerians are bilingual, man.
All right,
I'm Harry, and you're talking about what?
Relax, man.
Hilary, I would like to invite you into the Abacha gang. Would you like to come in, Hilary?
Well, years ago, I used to work somewhere, and in the place I used to work, the Ethiopians and Eritreans used to think I was one of them, so they would greet me. So, but it was actually through them that I learned that there was a difference between Eritreans and Ethiopians. They worked together where I was working. They didn't argue or fight, and I was like, "Oh, are you Ethiopian?" They go, "No, I'm Eritrean," and then they would tell me there was a split. But they were working side by side. They didn't fight.
I know.
Do you know why? Because good manners is a part of both our cultures. Do you see what I'm saying?
You know what it is? In London, I find that there's different cultures of everybody's culture. You know, like the ones in West London will be slightly different. Like the ones in North, the Eritreans, Ethiopians, and Somalis are together. You understand? So I'm sitting with my brothers. Do you get what I'm saying? And there's Somali there, there's Ethiopian, and there's Eritrean. But man are saying they're cousins. You understand?
Yeah.
I'm saying to one, you're Somali. He said no. He said no. But you're my man's cousin, yes. But you're Eritrean. Yes. I'm confused. And then this one over here is Ethiopian. Like, but so when I came to Speaker's Corner, and then people were like, "Oh, separation. I'm this tribe. I'm Oromo. I'm this one. I'm Somaliland. I'm da. And I noticed the separation more than in my community. Do you get it? So I was like, "Rah." So when you go to different areas of London,
you see different interactions.
Right, you can see different. Like Somalis don't even get on with, like, the ones from West London might not get on with the ones from North London. Just in their own. You get what I'm saying? In their own tribe and their own set and their own people, there's still beef, new beef that's been made. Let's put it that way. It's not old, it's new. You get it? But where I'm from, they're all the same. They're all one. They call each other cousins, brothers, whatever. You know, they marry each other's family. I don't see all this separation as much as I do when I started to go Speaker's Corner and that.
Yeah, don't mention the Ogaden to Somalis.
Ogaden.
Yeah, we have a place called Jijiga in Ethiopia. You'll find plenty, like they're Ethiopians, but their lineage, they've been there for generations. But their lineage, if you go like, I don't know, 10 lineage back, 7 lineage back, it's Somalian.
Yeah.
And that's more centralized because Ogaden is right by the border.
Are the Chichika more dark skinned or?
They look like anyone else. Literally half the time, the only difference is that you might see is the hijab. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Although yes, there are Ethiopian Muslims, but you know, back home more than likely, if you're gonna be, you know, you'll see hijabis. There's a high chance they're gonna be Somalians or from Somalis, or from, you might have certain other regions, but it's not many.
Like Afar.
Like that. Like Afar, yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like MD, the Somalis more closely, like they're not hating us Eritreans as much as they hate you guys?
Yeah.
Because but then again, this is just to do with demographic, geographic, because do you see what I'm saying? With the Somalians, I know that the people in Jijiga, in Ogaden, you know, they got Ethiopian passports, but then they speak Somali, but then there's still mixtures of the two. You'll find plenty of full-blooded Somalis in Ogaden, but then you find the full-blooded Ethiopians that are from Ogaden as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah.
But you, Then there are like Oromo, Somali too, right? So.
And you have Oromos. You've got Oromos who are Muslims too. Yeah. But then this is the thing. It's, you know, like this is when you get further deeper into it. This is where you find the differences. Like ultimately, we're all the same. So when you're outside of when we're outside of the homeland, we naturally connect to one another because of the similarities between us. But then when you go more into the person's backgrounds, whether there might be like Amhara, but Amhara in a different region, but because they're Muslim Amharas, they feel a different type of they feel a persecution that the Orthodox Amharas have no knowledge of. Do you see what I'm saying? Same thing with, you know, other parts. You know, I can't tell you how the Oromos felt, because realistically, for Amharic to be made the language for the entire country, best believe there was oppression done to the people of the other nations. And like, I know the Oromos went through it. Do you see what I'm saying? During that time when all of this was happening.
Even the Tigray.
And the Tigrays, yeah. I mean, there's so much, even like there's not one part of our nation that hasn't been affected by the other. Do you see what I'm saying? Good and bad. Because even like, you know, the Tigrays there's been a genocide there. With the Oromos, they had their genocide. With Amharas, we have our genocide. And each one is interlinked because it's more blood feuds that are caused by the government actions. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's going on in the north with the Tigray people at the moment? Seems to be a lot of violence up there in Ethiopia, in the northern part. The government forces.
It's a double-edged sword because, like, I know the Tigray people, they were facing a genocide, and then now the Amhara people are also facing a genocide, and it's a mad. What's happening in Ethiopia at this present moment in time is a travesty. Yeah, it's heartbreaking because it's all of us. Do you know what I'm saying? All of us are getting annihilated. So yeah, man.
They're not reporting it though. I mean, obviously, this ain't common knowledge, is it?
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's common knowledge, no, because
but it's out there now.
Who knows anything is
but you lot have
family over
direct
there
link,
and stuff,
obviously.
like,
Yeah, you lot have direct
exactly.
link. Yeah. So it's different. Yeah. You can hear what's going on. We might hear this next year on the news.
There you go. And maybe not even next year. Who knows when?
Maybe
even make a blimp on Western media. Do you know what I'm saying?
But that's how they play with media and show you how they hold this information or what they know, and then they put it out when they feel like it. So like what we're saying with Syria, for example, that could have been 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But now they're putting it out like it's news. Got us all convinced, because how many of us are going to go to Syria?
Can I ask a question though? Have anybody heard about the conflict about the dam in Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt?
Yeah, because
what do you think about it?
Egypt, it wants to start war with Ethiopia, but we have the right to the use of to create the dam.
Yeah,
do you
but
see what I'm saying?
Okay, but the problem is the dam is.
I understand that the dam flows down and it's going to affect other nations, but then at the same time, it's a case of
it's going to affect the desert,
Sahara. But you know what? If the roles were reversed, this wouldn't be an argument. Do you see what I'm saying? The Egyptians wouldn't be saying, "Okay, we're not going to do it." If the roles were reversed and they were in the highlands instead of the lowlands, and they decided to do that, they would also fight the same. Do you see what I'm saying? They would be. They wouldn't just allow another country to come say what they can do or can't do within another. Do you know what I'm saying? Within your own homeland, it's the same thing. Like,
and then you're looking at Sudan, who's like in the middle with the both Niles meeting up.
Do you know what? To be fair, to be fair, how it affects Sudan, I haven't really sort of done most research with it. Most of the stuff that I've personally come across has directly been with people from Mosul, like the Egyptians, in regards to the Ethiopians, saying how they want to, sabotage us from building a dam by making alliances with other. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, when it comes to all the political stuff, I'm not well versed in it. I get it, like.
Well, whatever's happened,
I don't know.
But it's a ticking bomb going on now.
Ethiopia is downstream.
This is what I'm saying, sis. It's some serious times. These are bad times we're living in, because it's only going to get worse. And this is the wickedest thing. It's like all this genocide that's happening with each region of the country. While there's a bigger threat coming from the outside, and it's coming from more than one place. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like they're setting us up for something. The powers that be. What that is, Allahu Alam, but definitely it's like there's a rush for something to full-blown war to break out in our countries. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just at that tipping point, like I'm just seeing what's going to be that straw that breaks the camel's back.
Bro, sis, it's called a coup, isn't it? They always do this, come into people's country, fuck it up, destabilize it, do all types of madness, make people argue over fuckery, and you know what I'm saying, sprinkle that with arms sales. You get me? It's called a coup, isn't it?
Because there's no profit. The reality and the sad thing is there's no profit in peace. Do you see what I'm saying? People own all these governments. The only thing they truly see is the profit. You see what I'm saying? And it's the people that suffer. It's just the everyday people that suffer. Because most people, they don't really care about what's going on. Everyone's just trying to live life. Do you see what I'm saying? But it's the governments that sow seeds of sedition amongst the peoples and spread lies amongst the people. And
and most of these
to be fair, that goes everywhere. Yeah.
Most of these governments ain't autonomous or whatever. They're not running themselves. There's some little puppet government, some little any guy. They sent him to America to get some education and brought him back. He's supposed to be a leader of some waste people.
But big up, family. I've got to go. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the Cash App, PayPal, all that good stuff. Yeah? Big up.
Big up.
Take care. Goodbye.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Nah, I'm really scared about the damn thing in Ethiopia.
Yeah. Trust me, don't worry, man. I'm telling you, I swear down. I don't know how we've come through worse things than the dam. We've had starvation, years of famine. You get me? Sanctions, this, that, the other. You get what I'm saying? I think we'll be all right. You get what I'm saying?
But I'm thinking like Egypt with the biggest military in Africa going in. I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be crazy, mad.
I think so.
In Sudan with their thing, I mean, controlling the water is
we always find a way though, sis. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how. Like, as I said, I don't know how, but I believe, I've got faith in it. I believe that a resolution will be found. There will be some sort of compromise to the problem, and hopefully millions of people will have to die.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to show you?
But looking down the Nile, it's a mad. It's not cool. I mean, the source of life in like 3 countries.
The whole of Africa.
Yeah, it's like
the whole of the continent.
Remember, they've been pressuring that region in particular for years. I don't know why, but they've been there's a stranglehold on that Pacific region for years and years and years and years and years. And it's not going to ease up now. We can't expect no good times now. And all through them decades, we've persevered, didn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? So I can't see us not persevering now, realistically. You know what I mean, sis?
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
That's why we learned that the Nile is a life giver, but it's also there's many rivers in Africa, and you know, the Niger comes off the Nile. So like, yeah, we transferred, man. We moved down further down, and it goes round and goes up into Mali and all of those places on the other side. So yeah, man, we stay by rivers, man. That gives us our thing. Either we rivers or we coastal.
Yeah,
that's our way. You know what I mean? But we nomadic as well. We keep moving, man. That's why I think this is the longest most of us have been fixed to a place, you know?
Yeah.
Now we're calling it this and that and that and that and the other. In ancient times, we'd moved around. Our parents moved, or great grandparents moved from this place, that spice route. Used to travel to India and all of these places and all of that, you know? So, I don't know how now we've become like
so fixed in one place.
Into these things called cities, and you know, stuff that didn't exist. Cairo never existed before ancient times. It's not ancient Cairo, you know, ancient Jerusalem and all that. It doesn't really exist. It's just a myth.
I'm telling you.
But we had Timbuktu though. We had you know.
But Alexandria, Iskandaria is ancient.
It's ancient. Yeah, that's Alexandria is ancient.
Yeah.
Still, the only European outpost that's been there longer than most, even Europeans, to be honest. in some respect as civilizations or Greek or Romans and that. Before they even existed, yeah, they was there. It's leaving there that they created those civilizations,
True.
Yeah.
True.
Without Coptic, they would never speak Greek or ancient Greek or whatever it is. Yeah, that's the basis of it.
Yeah.
So, they say, oh, they learned from the Egyptians. They learned from. Shut up, man. Stop your nonsense. Learn how to speak, maybe. Yeah. Speak in a tone that everyone can understand, and now we're calling it Greek. But it's based on the Coptic and then the Demotic and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Heretic and then the Meduneta and then we go back.
It's a mixture.
How do you say peace to Ethiopia?
Oh, in the language.
Yeah.
Salam.
Salam, is that it?
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah?
Salam.
Wow. Well, salam to Ethiopia and salam to the whole of Africa right now. Salam to the whole.
This is funny because our ancient sage, the oldest ancient sage in Nigeria, his first words to the people was salam.
Is it?
Being that he came from the other side of Africa, which would have been Egypt at the time, and his father was named Nimrod or Nama or whatever. So they say that he came from a strange land to that land, and the first words he said was salam. And then they changed,
right? Nimrod.
They changed. I think so. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Well, they say that, but we don't know. We just know he's the ancestor of our oldest sage, or great person who came to our village, and they made him the king and all of that type of thing. And then from his bloodline are the bloodline of the kings of Nigeria, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. So this person, his first words were salam. Not salam alaikum, but salam. So we know that Arabic and thing has been in our thing and our culture for eons. You know what I'm saying?
It's all Semitic languages, though.
Right. Exactly.
We need some more salam, man. General. We need some more of it. ASAP.
More peace. Hotep. You want some Hotep?
We need some more Hotep.
Same thing.
You need some more, all of that blood. We need some more everything. Yeah, shalom.
All mean peace. All mean peace.
Yeah, we need all of that, bro. Right away. Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah, man. Brothers and sisters, have a wonderful night, man.
Yeah, big up,
Freddie.
Yeah,
Lee.
No, I'm hyped up, man. I'm ready for the road, man. My bedroom's having a little thing, and it starts at 12 o'clock on a Tuesday night.
Wow.
Why would you have a party at 12? These guys are getting too bougie for me, innit? Yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Where you gonna go shake a leg though? Yeah, man. Enjoy.
Yeah. I started already. I put a couple sips of Ciroc in the slush. I'm already going cracking.
No,
but man's not there tonight. I'll see you later.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna chill. You got
Mzalini, Elere, Beefy, S. What's good? You're quiet.
Sleepy.
No, I was just listening to you guys.
I'm eating, that's why. On mute.
Who's that?
Huh?
I'm eating.
Oh, that's Beefy.
It's Gressler, Beefy.
Yeah, Gressler's eating. What is that on his thing picture? I don't even see. Is that a mask?
It's a mask.
Mask.
What is that? Shona business?
No, I think that's Igbo.
Igbo?
What?
Yeah.
Well, Jedi's people. Okay.
I'm not too sure. I think so. Well, I was there when watching some things about the Igbo, then I saw the mask come up a few times.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't know. Beautiful Shona woman I ever saw for ages was Makosi. Remember her, Makosi Musa?
Yeah, I remember Makosi. Yeah.
From Big Brother.
Oh yeah, she was Zim, innit? She was Zim.
Anyway, if you think Makosi is beautiful, yeah? If you go to Zimbabwe, you won't live, bro. I'm telling you.
She was, man. The brain was just fried. That's all.
If you think she's beautiful, bro, you won't live. You won't leave Zimbabwe, bro. I'm telling you, you'll be stuck there.
She had everything. She had that big afro, the body, the face, everything.
But you're not gonna have sex with a white midget in the swimming pool and expect us to
please don't destroy the memories, please.
I remember it, man. Fuck's sake, man. They made us pay extra for that or something. I remember. Bloody hell. See what was going on underwater. Did he really put it in? Yes, he did. Mud.
She's moved on. She's got like her own channel, YouTube, and social media. She does like some political and sports stuff in Zimbabwe.
Another one.
Tandy Newton. Yes, yeah. She's big. She's part British, part Zimbabwe. Yeah.
Oh, Tandy. Yeah. Yeah, she got that forehead still. She got that.
Here we go.
She had Crimea and all of that. I remember she was in what was it? Mission Impossible, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's a good actress. Yeah, tell me some Ethiopian actress then, Axum.
There's the famous. Well, she's not famous. She's an Eritrean though. She's like in Hollywood movies.
Oh yeah.
She was in that film called
Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah.
Tiffany
Haddish.
No, I'm talking about Ruth Negga, Negga. Ruth.
Wow.
Nigga.
Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing, Ellery?
What her name is?
No, Negga is from Negus.
Yeah.
It is though.
She's part Irish, part Ethiopian. Sorry, part Ethiopian.
Yeah.
She was born in Addis Ababa. Yeah. She's doing quite well. She's been in a lot of movies for a while. Yeah.
What's her name? Tiffany. What?
First name is Ruth. Surname is Negga.
Why are you spelling it? Just say it.
Because maybe I'm not pronouncing her surname properly. I don't know.
Negga.
I'm done with you, man. Today.
Why? Why can't you say it? You was confident before, and it was like, no, that's not the right one. It's the Ruth Nigga.
No. King. It means king.
Yeah, we know what it means. Yeah, Nagashi, Nagus. We can take it. We can take that. Yeah? All the way that's the Indian. Yeah, but we're not gonna take nigger. Yeah, that nigger area, and then say it means something glorious and fantastic. Yeah, So you got actress named Ruth Nigger, who's a really she's in Hollywood. What movie she been in?
What Ruth Nigger?
What was her name? Ruth Nigger.
Nigga.
Naga. Sorry, Nigga.
No, what?
Ruth, though, no.
Know what? Yeah. Actually, I think you can back me up on this. Certain African words, you cannot say them with a Western accent. That don't run. Sounds weird.
Yeah,
no, we don't have vowels for someone.
You have to be pronounce your R's and your G's. You have to really get into that. You know what I mean? That doesn't work. It sounds weird.
You know, like Kemet. Yeah. It's spelled Kemet, right? But if you take the E's out, if you take that, right. It's just the KM and the T. It's just the KM and the T. Yeah, that's how we pronounce it. So this Kemet is
it's
European.
Not. It's wrong. It's Kemet.
Kemet, with K. Yeah. That's the same.
Yeah, that's it.
Kemet.
So there's no E's. There's no E's in it. Yeah. So that's why I say vowels has changed the way we talk and things in our language, or things that they tell us is our language. It's like, no, that doesn't sit right. Doesn't make sense.
True.
And now
Even
that
what-
vowels are interchangeable, that's how dialects could change.
Mhm.
So where we might have used A before, we using another of
E.
the vowels, or E or
E
O,
or U.
yeah. Instead of ra, we say raw.
And it's also because the root is the same, most like a Bantu language, but then the way it evolves in most languages, either took the Latin root or the Greek root, but you just still come back the same way. So some languages, you find some languages are based in Greek, like in Latin, their sound will be sound the same as the ones in Greek, but there will be different words. Like how can I put it? For example,
it's the same mother language though. It's like
the root is the African language. The root word is still the same. So the meaning of the root word will come from the African language.
Ah, you mean like that? Okay. Yeah.
So the African language got the meaning. African language got the meaning. So let's say, for example, some people will say like a shard, or a shard is something is all to do with sun. Shard. Well, a shard is like glass with like broken sun rays. So it's called a shard. All the root words too comes with the thing, the sun. So anything we see with the FH or anything else in it is all to do with the sun.
Yes, like a sham. Sham, the word
Sham.
sham.
Is sun in Arabic. Or Shem.
Yeah, exactly.
Sham is a ship. It's a rocket ship. That's its original meaning.
Really? Wow. Yeah.
So it's something from the sun. You get it coming from that direction, from the sky, from the thing. As you break it down, you start to realize how the things are similar.
Yeah. Have you guys looked into like language trees or Semitic languages?
Yeah.
And they break it down.
That's my thing. That's what I always say to them.
I did a little study into it for about a year or so. Linguistics and that.
But then we all found out that we were speaking Beefy's language, so we gave up.
Is it?
We gave up, man. This guy was running around Speaker's Corner, just annihilating conversations. Like, what? Say that word again? Huh. You know what that means in my language? That's it. All right, here we goes again. We're getting actually upset with it. Like, come on, Beefy, man. You can't FTK everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes. Oh, you think you're speaking Hebrew? You know, Beefy with his laugh. You're actually speaking Shona. You know what I'm saying? No, it's true. Yeah, we found that a lot of the
You're
words.
saying that Shona is older than Hebrew?
Yeah.
Oh boy, Kemo.
Even though when Sarah came on, the way you said her name, that is what the word is supposed to sound like. It means in the Bible, Sarah means she stayed with Abraham. I mean, she stayed with him to stay.
Oh, so you notice how we pronounce Sarah?
Yeah, Sarah.
Yeah. This is how we say it, though. We say Sarah.
That means to stay.
Did you see the video when the guy from Dagger Squad came to Speaker's Corner? And he was debating with
that was funny.
And he goes to Hamza, give me the historical evidence for the character called Abraham. Hamza couldn't do anything. All Hamza could say, the Quran. And he goes, no, give me the archaeological evidence that this guy actually existed.
Yeah.
Then he came with his belief and not belief in the belief, and the belief are like, here we go.
Yeah, he says, can a belief be true without proof? That's what Hamza was saying.
He loves that line, bro.
Oh, poor guy.
He loves that line. Can they believe? With this little redhead, can they believe? Yeah, can they believe? Yeah, be true that belief? Shut up, bro.
Yeah. All I like to debate is thing, but yeah, I know what he's gonna come with. His thing is definitely Google, man. He's a Google master.
Who Garfield?
Yeah.
Google ain't so bad. Google gets its info from like books, scholars, and stuff, but most people don't. It's like when I'll get into debates with people about Wikipedia, then I'll say, actually, if you scroll down, you'll see a section which says references, has the books, the names of the authors, and sometimes it even has the pages where they took the information. That's the information.
But most people, what I found about Wikipedia, which is a bit of problematic, but the money that there's a citation in it. So the people put the quotation, but they'll give the reference. But what most people do, like more like religious groups or anything, they'll go and doctor things to the argument so they don't get embarrassed in their things. So when you look at
Listen,
the Wikipedia
I'm
page,
old
We
enough.
cannot use Wikipedia in
Listen,
academics.
I'm
field.
old enough. I'm old enough to remember when you were allowed to do those things on Wikipedia. When you were allowed to post. Oh, let me post about myself, Michael Maku. Do you get what I'm saying? And then write a whole dissertation, whatever, put whatever references
yeah.
about myself, And then they stopped it. They said, no, people can't do this anymore. I was done from then. You can't. That's not credibility. If you could go in and change stuff, I remember my friends could go in and change,
You can
add
still do it,
to
Michael.
things that
You still do
were
it.
on
Wikipedia.
there. It's like, man, that's dead
I can
food,
go on
man.
Wikipedia right now
I
and
can't
change
do
the
that.
thing.
We came from tangible books, man. I'm not from the YouTube. Like, that's new. That's all new to me.
Because
You get what I'm saying?
the thing is, I mean, if you want to be sure, you can Wikipedia. It's just an encyclopedia. If you don't like it, then you can go to Britannica. Check that one out. Because you then reach a stage in the 21st century, you have to be careful. You'll come across certain people who have a problem with people gaining knowledge from. So I could get the same book that's being referenced in a Wikipedia article. I can bring that book, and then someone will look at me more as like an authority figure because I've got the book. But then if I'm showing it electronically, it's like, no, that's fake. It's like, what's the difference?
No, for me, it's like information is information. Whether it's from Wikipedia, it's from a book, information is information.
But it's
is that
not
information
like
credible? Is that information credible? That's all that is. Information is
Correct.
information.
You know what I mean?
but
Like,
it is incredible
reference
information for Wikipedia.
reference
You
to
can still
another book
change it like you
by
want.
another
That's why we're not
author.
gonna
Yeah, no,
use
man.
it.
Yeah, just to reference something that's reference something else that's reference something else that's made up. Like, I'm not doing that. I'll spend all my life researching and doing all that if I believe that. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people don't do that. They take the first set of information and run with it. That's it. That's the truth of.
No, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's good for a debate. So if the person takes something and they run with it, then you can challenge them, and then you provide your sources saying actually what you're using is wrong because of this. That's fine. That's like, to me, that's cool. That's debating. People are using their sources. They're providing evidence that your source is wrong because this source I'm using. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. But what I can't stand is when people just make stuff up in a debate and they just use their ego to try and like argue their point. It's like, what evidence? Where's your source? None of us here are
no, but again,
scientists.
are you going to deny the fact that Google is constantly editing and deleting what's out there?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why it's good, because so let's say someone came up here and they were using that information, then you would challenge them, and then you would show your information to prove that their information is wrong, which is good.
How can you, if yours don't exist no more?
Well, that's that. You point that out and make them look stupid, which is
I'm saying. But that's what Google. We know that Google's doing that. We know that things that man used to Google in the early days with different search engines don't exist no more. Websites that man used to go to don't exist no more. They're palmed off and ready for someone else to buy. Do you know
the funny thing? I actually believe that because on a particular website for an organization, I actually screenshotted all their pages because I said, this website's not going to last very long. It's going to disappear. And then it actually disappeared. I don't know whether it was under maintenance or whatever. It's gone. But I've got the screenshots of the information because I'm like, this thing's not going to last long. It's like on YouTube, certain videos get taken. So it's like you have to download them.
The problem, is that when the internet first came out, they didn't know how to regulate it properly. But now with algorithms, certain algorithms and stuff, they can now regulate it more and more and more. So like before, I could open up a website and it'll take time for them to catch me, do what I'm doing on my website. With so many things going on the internet. But now with algorithms, they can chase down people quicker and shut down things quicker. But the algorithm is saying, look, this is what they're watching, this is what everyone's watching. Look, everyone's watching this, everyone's watching this, everyone's watching to this. And they say, oh, this is what they're watching, take it off. This is what they're doing, take it off.
I remember that Google is also sponsored by NASA. Then some would say, "Oh, how is that possible?" Well,
why didn't you go to Google Earth and all that shit, Baku?
Right, you got your Google Earth, Google Moon, Google Mars. So we have to understand that some of these organizations are in league with themselves, and Google owns count them out everything. Owns YouTube, owns. You got what I'm saying? So many things that we use are run by the same thing,
Google.
and on their platforms, certain things are restricted. So how is it not that on their actual search engine they're not going to do the same thing?
They do it
Of
already.
course
They
they
do
are.
it.
Of course they are. We're limited here on what we can say about certain things, right? And that's
Yeah.
only one platform that Google owns. So how
And
can
Google as
they
well.
not right?
They do
And how
deals.
can they
They do
not
deals
do
with
it on their
countries.
own thing? Mm,
They do deals with government. So they ask the government, what else do you want us to ban in your country? And the government tells them the list of things they want to ban in the country, and they ban them. They
yeah,
won't show up in your search engine.
that's a fact.
You know what I mean?
But I tried out the
Because
Trump
there's
one.
no censorship. There's mad censorship going on in the world.
I
Mad.
tried out the Trump one with him and Hillary, and they were saying that they were suppressing anything with his name in it. And I tried that out, and it seemed to work. That however much I tried to Google a man, he weren't the flavor of the month. Do you get what I'm saying? But when you give it
All
the other
speaks of him. You
person,
can have all stories of him, but nothing recent. Like
yeah, not a
how?
reason.
How is this possible?
So I don't trust them as far as I can throw them now, and I can't rate those type of scholars because again, the whole conscious community is built off the backs of real scholars, real anthropologists, archaeologists, people in the field coming back doing their presentation slideshows, and them dying in old age of poverty because they weren't smart enough to market their videos and left it to man like Sarnetta. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
Michael, you need to catch this thing, yeah? Ankh crack pipe, bro. He embarrassed himself the
Yeah, I've
other day.
seen it.
Oh my days. What is a grown man?
They danced him off, bruv. But now it makes sense of how he started to believe in the evolution thing. He's lost his mind, bruv. Only someone who's high on drugs can do that, man. So he's lost
Who's
his
believing in
mind.
evolution?
Oh, this guy, the Amon squad. He used to be a Nubian. He used to be conscious. He used to be everything. But he used to be called the Black Atheist. But, bruh, he's a dunce, bruv.
It's ex-crackhead.
Black atheist.
He's
Okay.
a dunce.
Can't read and write, and he calls himself
Yeah.
a scholar.
Oh my god. Yeah.
But as again, these things are not embarrassing. I'm not judging anyone, but I'm saying like the level of scholarly has changed.
Yeah.
Anyone can claim to be a scholar now because of Google, and I'm saying that's a very dangerous thing. And YouTube, you know what I mean? That is not how we did it in the past, or
No
to get
one is
to
reading books anymore. That's why.
right
That's why
to
I
get
dropped
to
out.
or do proper research. That's it. Like
Yeah,
doing
it
a
takes
couple
time.
pages on YouTube. It's not what it is.
It
It's
takes
not
time
how
to
you
research
work
that.
out things.
You have to find them. You have to find the books. You have to go and look for the books. Find the books. Go into the books. Read the books. Understand the books. And you have to cross-reference the shit. That takes time. It's not easy. No computer.
Like
You're going around places looking for
yeah,
these
when
books.
you talk about when we talk about blood and stuff like that, these are things that you've had to learn because they're integral in your life. People get sickle cell, got sickle cell trait, and you have to know about these things. If you're carrying, if you're not, if you're neutral, if you get malaria, what's going on? What's going on?
People don't
You have
know
to learn
about
these things about yourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Half of the information is learned is for you is to better your life and your children's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And educate them in certain things. Not to be coming on YouTube. YouTube was the last thing.
But I got to say, I mean, I learned a lot of good things through you guys over here too. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just a sharing of thing. I think knowledge is power, and if we all got the knowledge, then we all got the power.
True.
That's it. You got what I'm saying? So it's spread more evenly.
Anunnaki and everything. Oh my god, I was so hooked up in that. Especially shows back. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
And you got people like Jupiter coming and telling you about
exactly.
it. Like,
Jupes were all over the thing.
all over thing. I know the Anunnaki and Enki. He had sex with one of the workers. Like what? What's he talking about?
Michael, this is a problem as well. This is another problem as well. The misrepresentation of history, where people will read something and they might explain the story to you, but they're misrepresenting the fundamental part of the story.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They're not changing like the little money details. No, they're changing the fundamental part of the stories. Then you're like, oh, okay. It seems like it makes sense, but you're talking hella bullshit.
Because what I find is they're not talking about the kingdoms that existed, like the real tangible stuff. They're like off in the clouds about the Anunnaki and stuff. It's like, what about the kings? What about
who are they? Who are
the people? That stuff. That's the fundamental stuff. Or when you see the architecture, when was that built? Who was responsible? Why was it built? That kind of fundamental stuff. They're up in the clouds talking about aliens coming down and breeding with humans.
It's mad. Let's deal with the basics first, you know.
But I don't know, no. But I see that other thing I've seen in history, where you try to deny some people history, all of a sudden aliens appear.
That's why I said that there's a difference between. Remember, I made the distinction of who is God and what is God, and we came to the conclusion that man is God. Yeah, in the concept of that, it's not the Most High. You're not the creator of heaven and earth and all of that. You're a different type of entity. That's something between an ant and the Most High. You know what I'm saying? You're a apex predator. You're the ultimate killer. You're the ultimate caretaker, supposedly, of this planet. So there's many different levels to why we're here and what our capacity is. You know what I mean? But on the God thing, we realized that our ancestors used to call each other gods. Yeah. So God can't be something that's not physical. And then when we looked it up, they said a god is a supernatural being, a deity. I said, okay, something physical and tangible again. You get what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to get to the difference. Where did all these stories of our ancestors popping out the sky and landing on the earth and then being our kings and queens and all of that ruling over us? But they must have been us, because we don't worship gods. We don't have that. Every one single person that we held and made a statue of actually existed, and we don't have a single image of the creator of the heaven and earth.
No, like in my culture, no one talks about God. How are you going to talk about God?
No, it's just not tangible like that. It's not something.
It doesn't make sense.
Like that.
No. Like how?
But don't you think like a lot of people are remixing their history to fit their own agenda or their own way of life?
No, I think history is
I think we have different types of beings, and we have different types of beings that came here. Some that knew what they were, some knew who they were, and liked being worshipped, the idea of being worshipped, and some people who like the idea of worshipping. Because it's got to be in the nature of people to do these things, otherwise it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, true. I believe
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there was
even
always,
if you believe in or worship the sun, like we used to do,
and you've got to understand that these Europeans, being the baby of the family, their first duty and their first capacity was to worship the other individuals who'd been there longer and older. As soon as they could reverse that, they did. But for long periods of time, they worshipped us. They call us Nagas, they call us Snakers, they call us angels, they call us astronauts, they call us all different names. They call us Quetzalcoatl, they call us Enki, they call us Ra, they call us Shu, they call us all the names. Unkulunkulu, they call us Waka, they call us everything. Yeah, but for us, it had a different connotation. You understand? We revere our ancestors as long as you know who they are. And in taking people away from the continent and even going to the continent and colonizing people, you're changing these things. You're trying to make them forget who they were. You're trying to forget all these monuments that are built, all these things carved into the ground. How can you have a cross carved into the ground as a building and all of that? Who did that? Aliens. Yeah, they took aliens did it. No, nonsense.
Aliens? No, man.
Nonsense. Angels. Some say angels, some say thing. Yeah. Why not the people?
Yeah.
Why not the people built the pyramids? Like, what are we doing? Like all this myth type of stuff that they threw in just to explain us.
But really, though, I don't understand the pyramids. I've been there too many times now. I don't get it how people can have built that thing. Nah, I can't. And especially the step pyramid in Saqqara. Nah, that's
I can.
amazing thing. I was in it too. It was like, oh, yeah.
But to know your ancestors built that, you know what I'm saying? That's the difference. Your ancestors built that. This is why a man would take a cannon and try to blow off the noses, because he didn't want the people on his ship to start getting confidence in themselves. When you look over to the continent of Africa from the Mediterranean and you see all these big structures and all of this from time immemorial, before you even had a building, before you even had a pillar in Greece, these things were built already in Africa.
But do you think that people were like much bigger than, like 2 meters?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course.
Like you call them Nephilims or whatever.
Yeah, that's what they called us. That's what they called us, because the tallest men in the earth live in Sudan.
Yeah, true. South Sudan. Yeah, they're tall.
Yeah, 9 feet tall. So what is a giant now? What are we doing? What are we talking about? We know what pygmies are, and we also know what giants are.
But earlier on, we're talking about the junk DNA. I think the things we could do back in the day, we're not capable of doing now. I think we've been dumbed down. I think we would do like what we call now miracles. I think those were standard behaviors for some of us back in the days.
Okay.
That's why it could be considered a god.
Because we can have like a sixth sense or another ability or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because we cannot decode it right now, it doesn't mean we.
When you were young,
abilities before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember, I was saying
I think that's why some jobs are easy to do. Not easy.
When you're young, you never know more fun. But you knew where all your friends were. You knew what time to link them. You just knew.
Yeah, true.
No, I think all this study on a cellular level for some, like you think you're doing something new, you're not. Your ancestors done the same thing. Your ancestors set the precedent.
I hear you. I'm not thinking that I'm doing something new. I'm just like, to be honest, I'm doing this because I'm really interested. And then second, to get closer to the creator. For me, personally, more I study the cells or get deep in my field, more I get closer to the creator. This is how I look at it.
Exactly. So all is part of nature, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And nature is part of the creator. So to study nature is to study the creator. And that's what we were trying to explain to them. But they don't want to hear it. They want to talk about Ra and Shu and this and that and sperm lettuce and all sorts of nonsense. Because that's a European's mind. He's trying to add to ancient thinking. It's impossible. You're not capable.
We've been doing this for the ages, like the priests they call them, or the alchemists, the first alchemists.
If you can't build the structures, how can you have the mindset? If you can't build the structures, how can you have the mindset, or even quantify what the type of mindset it would take to build such a thing? The science, geometry.
But I'm really confused. I'm not confused, but I'm fascinated about the pyramids, like how the sun or the moonshine gets into this explicit mathematics to do everything, right? It's I don't know.
That's what we call
with the stars or whatever. It's like,
that's supreme mathematics, huh? That's right knowledge. That's things when things are correct. When you get the right mathematics and you get the right results.
Calculations.
But time we're given the wrong mathematics because the mathematics we have is not perfect. We want perfect mathematics.
Of course,
perfect mathematics will allow you to build those structures, even on computer.
We still cannot build the structure.
But we don't have it.
No, we cannot.
Or it's like
so that means
like
the
walls of Cusco. If you type the walls of Cusco in Peru, if you look at the walls and you just type walls of Cusco and you click images and you see them, in the 21st century they can't build the walls the way they did. So up till today, people are like, "How the hell? Who built
like
those
Tetris?
walls?"
It's like Tetris, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like, how did they build it with such precision? And
they call it retro genius. Huh? They call it architecture by the ancients retro genius. You know.
In my culture, what's what they're saying? Like, sophistication will kill you. So I think maybe some tribes have learned from history not to get too sophisticated, but they can come and bite you back. Just keep things simple, innit? Keep things one God, nature. Don't try to be too clever.
Well, there's a part of us that says that obviously the part that's being too clever is a part that always been like that. There's a way to say that some people in Africa believe they came from the ground, and some believe that they came from the stars.
Sorry.
So
Yeah.
automatically they're showing you two types of wavelengths or two types of, yin and yang.
Beings.
Yeah.
But it is confusing though. Like if I look at Beefy's region, you've got like Great Zimbabwe, that the ruins there, and you see the stone and how it was built, and that whole area, that kingdom. But then when the British came and fought against I can't even pronounce their names properly, in the Ndebele or Ndebele tribes, Ndebele, yeah, and killed them. Those people then, they weren't building structures the way Zimbabwe was built. So it's like that generation that built that structure in Zimbabwe. What happened? The knowledge just got lost or something.
No, this is what I'm saying. Like
No, that's what I'm saying.
The tribe which built the rooms are still there, but then they tell you another history. Like some knowledge, it has to be kept secret, isn't it? Because there's been too many instigators. So some things that are for the good of mankind are just best kept secret. Let's leave it in it.
I think what's most important around that region is the mines. Yeah, the mines said to be hundreds of thousands of years old. So
most complex computer in the world is the mines.
It's got to bring into concept that when Greater Zimbabwe was built and who it was built for and what it represents. Now, when we get to that information, we're going to go all the way back to Sumeria, yeah, and around the Sumerian times, because
Great Zimbabwe is not that old. Yeah, there's older monuments which even predate ancient Egypt, which they are finding in Southern Africa. So this is madness.
Isn't that one they found called? Well, they gave it. It's got two names. It's got the English name Adam's Calendar.
Adam's Calendar. Yeah, they found them. In Southern Africa. Yeah.
That one's pretty. That's very old. That's older than
the world.
Yeah.
We've got the Egyptian Stonehenge too. You know what I mean? We've got the Egyptian Stonehenge. So
they found carvings which they say can only be done by laser in Southern Africa, and these are like time with Adam's calendar. They're like, how did these people do it? But it says, like we're mining in Zimbabwe. We're mining in Zimbabwe way before people knew about mining. We're mining gold in that. But what gold mining is very. It's not good for the environment. We stop doing it. Simple and plain forward. But people think, so it's the balance of things. Selling knowledge is not good for you. Are disagreeable with the way of life. So you just leave them be. It might look good, it might think, but for the detriment of the society, let them be. You know what I mean?
The city of Nadiba.
Cultures, they won't do something. They won't do something if it's affecting the tribe like 5 generations deep. If it's going to affect 5 generations down, they won't do it. But they know that this land is not yours. You're borrowing it for 5 generations. You're borrowing it. It's not our land. There's no water for us to ruin. But now the mindset is different. It's about me now. That's why we're fucked up.
Well, all I'm saying is that those structures are thousands of years older than some of the people there. Some of the people say that angels or other people came down and did it. Yeah. Well, whatever we're to believe or not, the mines can't still. They don't know with the precision and what tools they use to dig the mines. That's the problem. Do you get what I'm saying?
Other creatures, maybe.
Right. Other technology. No. Why can't there be ancient us? Why? Why can there not be ancient us?
Why can there not be?
Why can there not be?
I mean, how can we go so much backwards then when we come to medieval times, right? We just like lost it. Totally.
Medieval times. I don't think it's a case of lost it. I think that
what happened then? The control of the churches in Europe.
No, I think it's the advancement and waking up of Europeans and coming into our environment while we were living and doing what we were doing. But even in ancient times, it's quite easy to see that the environment changes things.
Yeah.
If there's earthquakes, if there's volcanoes going off, people have to relocate. So it doesn't matter what you had there before. We can go back to basics, start again, rebuild, and then do what we're doing. Yeah, because it's only when we reach a level of comfortability in our society that we start building great monuments. It's either that or some of the monuments actually existed before we even got there. And we do what we usually do. Go and stay by, over old sites of our ancestors.
Yeah.
Our ancestors used to live here. Okay, cool. And we'll stay here
Back
now.
home.
We'll rebuild it. We'll build over it, refurbish it, and live there. This is clear all around the world.
Yeah.
People living on top of
Mhm.
cities, on top of cities, on top of cities, on top of cities. Why not in Africa? It happens. And we have all right to live where our ancestors used to live. In some places,
Yeah.
So as I said, as Beefy said, and Aleri probably, and as you know, Axum, all
Mm.
over the continent, there's monuments and structures that can't be explained.
Yeah. We got bare of them.
Castles and forts that
They
people
found
think,
the old Shiva in Somalia.
Europeans came here. Europeans came here and built that. No,
They say, yeah,
ports that existed for thousands of years. Port,
Yeah.
if you got
Michael,
port, then you got boats.
they
Oh,
say
mate.
Hinduism is the oldest religion, yeah?
Mhm.
But they found the oldest Shiva in Somalia. Explain that.
The oldest what?
The oldest Shiva, the Christian.
Oh, yes. I remember
Could it
Everlast
be,
saying it.
Biffy? Could it be that the horn and Asia was stuck together before?
Yes.
No,
Tectonic plate.
I'll explain why. No, why is the place is called the land of the gods?
Land of the gods, Somalia. Somali?
The whole area. You call it the land of the gods.
Land of the gods. Punt, right?
Yeah, know why?
No.
Know why?
Mm-mm.
Because when people of right knowledge live in that area, they started exploring the world. But once you reach a certain area, now nothing to explore in it. You take certain concepts with you around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like when we talk about like Kemet, we talk about we didn't have religion. But before they said there were temples. Not temples. You had like fields of study. Some people studied the sun.
Bro.
Studied the moon.
If Shiva is in Somalia, yeah, it's telling you, yeah, and they've told us many times, and no one argues this part, that India was a piece of East Africa. No one argues this. The Rift Valley is there as proof and everything. As this landmass, that's India, broke off Africa and crashed into Asia or Eurasia, right? Giving you the Himalayan mountains, right?
Yeah.
It's just what time period, right? But I believe that this thing, that as I said, the customs of the native people of Ethiopia and these regions and the Horn are so old school. But I've asked some people and they've said Hinduism is one of the oldest cultures there. I'm like, is it? And they're like, yeah.
In the Horn.
Like, okay. Yeah, in the Horn. Like it's a cultural thing. It's not a religious thing.
It's really, that's what I explained to her. The difference between religion and culture too, and way of life is two different things.
Like also Axum, totem pole.
Yeah. We have obelisks.
Thank you.
We have totems as well. We have totems.
So that's cultural, isn't it? It's not.
It's cultural. Of course.
Thank you. So that's what we're trying to say. When we get into the crux of it, we're like, oh my god. So these are what the people doing other than the established religions that we know, and even some of that they founded themselves. And it makes you understand that if a people who worship, Asians like to worship, they invented the idea of religion. You know what I'm saying? It's with them. The oldest form of religion is with them. So prior to that, everybody else had a way of life. And then express through their ancestors whatever you want to express, or whether it's elements of nature or, just how powerful and intelligent they were as a king or a queen, or,
Yeah.
And they also knew how it's kind of, the thing. You have to be one with nature. If you're going to live on this planet, you have to be one with nature. You cannot be separate from nature. I think the ancient people knew how to do that very well. They knew how to be one with nature. That's why they could be, I don't know. We seem to be fighting nature constantly.
No, the problem is that there's two types of Africans, as I said, from the ones that think they came from the sky, and the ones that think they came from the earth. The ones that think they came from the earth decided to till the earth and civilize themselves and live civilized, make coffee and do as we saw with the Watutsis. Right, Beefy?
Mm-hmm.
They made butter, they did all sorts, you know. They lived in special pens and all of this type of thing. They lived civilized, right? Wore clothes, wore sheets, wore certain hairstyles that reminded you that they were Egyptian. No problem, right? So then we go to the pygmies who don't wear any clothes almost, yeah? But they can build bridges and all of that type of stuff.
Live in rainforests.
Right. Now you take the two of them and you mix them up. The same like the Khoisan, you mix them up. You mix them up, you get everybody
New way
else.
of life. You get a new way of life, new ways of life, not just one.
New people, new beings, new beings. Yeah? Nubians, new beings. Nubian, even to be Nubian, is to be mixed. It's to be Dungulawi and another tribe mixed together. The name tells you that they're mixed.
Nubians are the best people in Egypt. I love them.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it's Nubian, and then Nuban was the original name. You understand?
Even when people separate Egypt and Nubia, that's a fallacy. Like, oh.
Again, that's another one that's gonna hurt them. As Ezra found out.
They will never be acknowledged, though. I feel sorry for them.
There's no separation. You know, you don't separate.
There's a big separation in Egypt. So, they're treating them really bad, though.
The borders have caused problems, as I said.
No, I'm not talking about the Sudan region. I mean the Nubian part of Egypt is really.
Do you know that Sudan stretched all the way to the east? Did you know that? I mean, to the west.
Yeah, you showed this in some show.
Yeah,
actually. Yeah.
Sauda.
Sauda means black.
Right.
In Arabic, though. So,
yeah.
So that's what an Arabic map saying.
That's why we say we live from one part of it to the other part of it. So we left from one part of it, which we're calling the Nile Valley, which is in Nubia. You get what I'm saying? So we're Nubians. And then we left from there all the way to what we're calling Nigeria. You get what I'm saying?
Explorers.
To that area. Yeah.
Explorers and expansion.
It was still of the same land.
It
was owned by the same people. So this is what.
I'll say this. I'm sorry. I'm me personally. I don't subscribe or believe that I am from Kemet or wherever. Maybe there are other people who are. I'm not. I don't know where I'm from. I don't care. But I'm not Egyptian. My great ancestors.
Well, you don't have to be from Egypt. It means your people were there at one stage. It doesn't mean you're Egyptian.
But they're trying to say.
But unfortunately for you, Oleri, you spare 150 Egyptian words in your language with the supposed Egyptian language, or the ones that the ancient Egyptians spoke. So unless you borrowed 150 words from the Egyptians, it's going to be kind of difficult to separate yourself. You get it? Which I've also brought evidence of. And someone actually...
I am free from the
linguist. Sorry, the linguist actually said no one actually ever borrows from another language. So the only thing that's happened is the dialects change. That's it. So when they want to know Meduneta, they need to learn Yoruba. That's it. Bottom line, Larry. So yeah, put that in your pipe and use that as a weapon.
I don't know. It's like if people trace their family, like your great grandparents and your great grandparents. I don't know. I guess for me, the story is
that's Yoruba history. That's not even a joke. You got me? When I first went to the Yoruba history website to find out about Yorubas and Igbos and all the different tribes where they came from, that was the first chapter. 3,000 years ago, we traveled, migrated from the Nile Valley, plain and simple. I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? This is not like Europeans writing it. This is Nigerians writing it. I was like, okay, okay, let's go. So yeah, man, it's interesting, but you need to look into it, and then you'll thing, and then the stories that go with it, some things start to make sense, and then you connect the dots, and you realize, okay, this period in Egypt is where we was at, but then this period we was in Mesopotamia, and this period we was in what you're calling Mecca at certain times.
I used to what you did. I'm not saying it's wrong. I used to do that a lot. There were a lot of history books I used to read from Ivan van Sertima. I still have his books. Golden Age of the Moor, Ancient Egypt Revisited, African Presence in Early Europe, African Presence in Early Asia.
My man died, didn't it? He passed
away. Yeah. And then I had this book called Ancient and Modern Britons by David McRitchie. And I remember sitting down with an Irish guy in my job years ago, telling him about the black ancestors in Ireland, saying the word dub means black, and it was called dub because there were these black pygmies that lived there. I wouldn't be caught dead saying that in the 21st century, but I used to.
Well, it's true. But it's true now. Now they're accepting it. Now the Irish are accepting it. What you saw, you brought. It's not only you brought it. Beefy definitely brought that to the Irish. This leprechaun idea, and we know that Saint Patrick.
Leprechaun.
Yeah, this idea of leprechauns or little people turns out to be
pygmies.
Turns out to be the ancient pygmies of Ireland. Like these are no lies now. These are facts now.
Congo. Listen. Those pygmies came from the Congo by foot, building bridges and that.
Wow.
Peter, bridge builders.
What I don't understand is they came out of the Congo, right?
Yeah.
So who was in West Africa before those people spread in the Niger Congo to the west? Who were there?
Listen,
who were the people?
Ellery, listen, that's a good question, yeah? Wait, I'm not going to answer him. That's a very good question. Now, these people went island for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So I don't know how to tell you that one, bro.
Yeah, because I just get, because people always like to just talk about, oh yeah, and then they'll give that stupid word I hate, Bantu, and they'll say, yeah, Niger Congo, the Bantus were spreading. It's like, hold on a minute. You telling me that the whole of the West was uninhabited till
no, you can't say that, because I mean, look at Betty's tribe. Look at Betty's tribe, they're Bibio. Everybody came and met them there. So like we do know that some tribes were already there when we got there. Yeah, the Oyo were there, the Aboriginals, it seems, the Nok. You know what I'm saying? All of these people were supposedly in that region at the time. So like we're being honest, we'll never lie on another tribe and say, oh yeah, we were there first. No, if we told you we migrated from somewhere else, we're also going to keep record of who we met on our travels as we come to this land. And we did. The Oyo were on horseback and all of this type of stuff. They traversed the northern part in the desert. All these things are registered in the history.
They even had a cavalry. I never knew that Oyo had a cavalry. They had a cavalry. And they would try and fight against the Sokoto Caliphate to the north.
Exactly. But this is why there is caliphate. This is why there is caliphate. Because the brothers of Oduduwa came from the east, from the east to the west and established Muslim states in Nigeria. This is how they became about. Not Oduduwa himself.
It's because of Dan Fodio, wasn't it? That Usman Dan Fodio leading the jihad to the southern.
And we'd had Islamic battles prior. As different people, as the song guy, as these different parts, you know, Sunny Ali and all of these type of people. We were doing all that, traversing above what we're calling Nigeria from east to west.
Like they say, I am free.
In that area.
I am free of that history. I don't embrace the song guy thing and all that. I'm kind of touchy about the whole thing about slaves. They had slaves, so
but you gotta understand that the what links everything eventually is going to be the Niger River.
Yeah, so that is true. Yeah, that's true.
So while they're having their civilizations and rising and falling as they're crossing the desert, you've got to understand they're crossing from one side to the other, but they're not just traversing like bloody gypsies. They're moving on, settling, building a political empire, fighting with other people, blah blah blah, and they're moving along and along and along. And as they're going along, some are splitting off and
Yeah.
deciding to break away from this madness or whatever, or what mess they've previously caused. Because remember, we've got to understand this civilization thing. We are the civilizers. We just keep going places, trying to set up things. It falls short, or we get into some confliction, and then we got to move on again. In some cases, yes, because of war. So we were doing these things for thousands and thousands and thousands of years until we got to a system of, listen, when you go to an area now, you don't need to do all that. All you got to do is marry off your son to their daughter, boom. Fanny's your
Family.
auntie, whatever. Yeah, we're family now. There's no argument. This is why we can be in the Delta and be Yorubas, but under the guise of Shakiri. Yeah, but we've migrated into the area that is Yoruba land. Yeah, but aside is Igbo land, and there Abibio land, and there Ondo, and then this one. You got what I'm saying? Edo, all of that in the same region. And why there's always seemed to be peace. Only when the British came that we had problems. We were having civil wars amongst whoever, whatever faction, and they could manage to come in with their little company and try and kidnap others and give others the Catholicism and all of this type of nonsense. But yet, when we check the history records, as someone did the other day, we had universities and all of that since the 1700s.
You're more forgiving of me. I curse the ancestors because they were too busy fighting each other, so the British played them. And divide and conquer and play them because they were so busy. Sokoto was fighting against Oyo. Oyo was brutalizing other clans who then broke off and formed their own thing. The fun people in Dahomey, they were still fighting Oyo and they were doing their thing in the Republic of Benin. They all
no one weren't doing British stuff though. No one weren't thinking or conceiving the deception and the fucking evilness of these Europeans. No one went. Remember, we bucked up on them last minute. They're not like the Portuguese. They're not like anyone else we've met before. No one brought arms to us prior to the British. And the British didn't bring arms. Hold on. The British didn't bring arms to us in the beginning. It's a sneak tactic.
No, the British, what we call like lucky at the time. Because they came in at the right time. Remember, Arabs tried, the Portuguese had tried. And there's so many, like for a week now. They came in at the right time, just 3 years, like last year, and just took over. Like, yeah, look what we've done. Like, really? But just
they took over an area, like even Lagos it wasn't even taken over by the Portuguese. It was just named. It was just named by the Portuguese. You get what I'm saying? So the Portuguese named it because it's a port they come to and they trade and they do whatever they're doing, right? But they were next door in other countries, kidnapping people from maybe a century or 2 centuries before. We didn't even know.
Yeah.
It took the British in the late 1800s to come with a company to say, like, we got a special company we're going to make for these particular Africans. We've almost conquered it fully. We've already taken a piece of their land and we've called it Benin, where all the gold is, where we sold all the people. The people who even tried to sell people to us, we sold them too. We've got statues of Portuguese heroes up in their land. It's ridiculous. They call it the Gold Coast, so they feel that that's where all the gold was. They hadn't ventured into our lands to see what we were doing. We were chilling. Yeah? And even if we were having civil war.
Ivory Coast. It shows you where they're taking from there.
No, man. But colonization is hand in hand with slavery. So you've got to understand that when they did come, that was exactly what they were going to do. And by the time they reached us, they had almost perfected the art.
Perfected it.
So there's no slur on us to say, oh, no, why didn't we defend it? Why didn't our ancestors? Yes, we did defend it. And we died in our thousands trying to free ourselves from this yoke. So I'm not going to personally take it when I know my ancestors died to keep everybody as free as they could. Do you get it? So I would never accept that for my ancestors still, because I know what they suffered to get their people back and whatever. Thank God for tribal marks. We got our subscriptions back from Brazil and all the places that we traveled to, we sailed to. We were merchant traders long before we met any of these men.
Mm-hmm.
Traversing these seas, calling us pirates and all of this type of stuff. Like, you got a peep game, man. These men come to do business. They found us by accident. Stupid us adventurers rolling down the Niger. Yeah, hella gunshot, man. Someone got killed on the boat, and then that's what alerted there was people in the Delta. There was people in the south. What are they doing over there? Yeah, and they come over. They come with their Catholicism. Yeah, give us governorship. Yeah, when we already rule our land, it doesn't even make no sense. And then they start kidnapping our neighbors. That's what caused the war where I come from, in Benin. A 14-day war with the British, or Queen Victoria, should we say. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And in the meantime, they stole the Benin bronzes and all of that out of the palace and all of this type of stuff. They don't want to tell you the full story of what they done, man.
And their trickery was they'll attack the king or something, and take like the crown or something, which was the value of the people, and try to say, oh, and say that we are now the rulers, and try to hide it. Then it's a silly game like that, or blame the other tribe and stuff. They were master manipulators. Best of the deceivers.
In between doing all of this, they've conquered and managed to make a new colony in the Americas, in Australia, in all parts of the world. Like, they've perfected this thing. They've used germ warfare. They've done all sorts before they've got to us. You think we stood a chance? I don't think we stood a chance. I think that we're smart people. We're very much like our ancestors in that we go places and we live in simple civilizations and, you know, small cities and kingdoms and all of that, showing the art and the dexterity of our ancestors.
Mm.
You know what I mean? The similarities in what we do. We just live, man. We live in small communities. We do certain things. We have rituals. We have things that are older than anything these guys thought of. Because life starts when they met us. History starts with us, for them. Our history don't start there.
Mm-hmm.
That's only a stepping stone of our reality. You know
well, I saw some article the other day. I was laughing. Yeah, I was trying to history. Then I was looking at it, and then it goes non-history, which is just their history. So they're saying, "Oh, this is what called non-history." Like, bros, the way they're teaching people, the education they're giving us, non-history is from when they became their own history. That's what they call non-history. Everyone else's history is a myth, but their own mythology is real. Zeus and that is real. Like, please. Zeus was like, come on.
Man want to bathe the slave and the colonized rather than the slave trader, the man who put up the market, the man who started it, the man who said this man is worth this. We want to start putting blame on our ancestors, like we overstand the what do you call it, the agenda that the Europeans have. It's a long-lasting one, and we're only in the process of it right now.
Still in the process.
You know what I'm saying? Clear to see. But what we're going to do, we're going to blame our own ancestors for the faults of other people's ancestors. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. I know we might be comfortable in our prison cell, but, you know, sometimes we need to be real. I grew up with the worst and the best, supposedly. The British. Great Britain. This small island that conquered the fucking world. This is crazy. But I understand how they did it now. They're not physically the strongest Europeans. These dirty teeth people are, you get what I'm saying? Are very cunning and very wicked and very
manipulators.
Yeah.
Up to today.
Got to be realistic, man.
And then as well, like you gotta think about mindset of peoples, you know, like they come from a culture of right and wrong. So if you're wrong, you're evil. If I'm right, I'm good. Well, we come from a culture where we can be disagreeable and agreeable. It makes a big difference. So when the two cultures collide, even now, our people are picking up the custom of good and at least this. If you're good, if I'm right, I'm good. If you're bad, you're evil. If you're wrong, you're evil. So culture. Where we were the culture of, oh, I don't agree with you. See you later, bye. Nothing good or bad about it. I don't agree with you. We just disagree. So now, if I don't agree with you, then if I don't agree with, if you don't agree with me, I have to take you out. I have to kill you. I have to destroy your way of life.
Well, I think convincing Africans and them convincing black people that they sold each other is convenient, very convenient. Do you know what I'm saying? And a good ploy for division. But in reality, nah, who steeps to benefit from any of this was not these people. So it makes no sense that we now share the blame when we are the front row for reparation. You can't kidnap my people and then tell me, yeah, it's your fault. Like, this doesn't make sense. And then we got my own people telling me it's my fault.
Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome in full effect.
It is. You need to look at it in the bigger picture of it and say that no one could conceive the cunningness of certain people and what they were doing. And as I said, colonization is a man coming in your house and putting his feet on your sofa, raping your wife, your children, your daughters, you know what I mean? And staying there.
Then,
and then farming out the healthy young men, middle-aged men. You lot are gone. Send you off to the Caribbean, send you off to the Americas, send you off to Australia, send you off to wherever we want. Britain. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, yo, curse the ancestors, man. I curse you lot, man. No, man, don't curse them, man. Trust me.
I wouldn't curse them, but I don't like champion them or big them up.
Yeah, you should champion them, man. Well, some should, some shouldn't, maybe. But
yeah, you can't champion everything, but you have to try who you are at some point. Not everything was good, not everything was bad, but come on.
That's balance. Even good and bad is a European concept. So
exactly, something agreeable. Something that not agreeable with you now to the society or necessary in those societies. At time. You understand? Overstand.
I'm glad I grew up with my people and gave me an African man's mindset. You know, having fathers who are kings and wise men, and grandfathers who are philosophers and wrote books in their country. They didn't have to come to Europe or nothing. You get it? So I think, and when you're part of a royal system, it's like you got access to more information than the average person. Not that I did personally, but I realized the people around me did. Because what they were talking was different to what was the conventional idea of what our society and how our things came to be. Do you get it? So I was thinking, okay, same for Europeans as well. You know that Prince Charles ain't learned nothing that we learned at school. Nothing even close. So you can understand in Africa, that's the same system.
That's
to
history.
Be a royal. Yeah, to be a royal, you're going to have to get the full history of it. You're going to get your history, though. History. They're going to tell you that, yeah, you came from here. Your people came from here. And
talk about the king. Talk about the king, not you.
Yeah. Our thing is parchments, isn't it? Everything is compartmentalized. Do you get what I'm saying? As in, the Zimbabwe's got the different tribes got little pieces of the puzzle. The Yoruba's got a piece. The Igbo's got a piece. The Bivio got a piece. Everybody got a piece of the puzzle. We was all at one time, and then we had to separate. Bam. Because of climate, because of wars, because of whatever, people moved around the continent. Like, we've got to be honest. You know what I mean? But no one could conceive these Europeans coming in and doing what they did. Okay, no one could conceive that. Only their history tells us exactly what they were up to. They're sending man out to look for potato and then going out and finding different things.
Even this thing about tribes back in the days were always warring. One thing in Africa we don't do is incest. Yeah. So that's why we mix. There's a lot of mixture. But my family saying, my grandma was telling me that even when she in that time to look for a partner, you have to go to different tribes from far away to try to find a partner, because you don't marry your cousin by any chance. No, them ones there.
Yeah.
You're not picking the honey in your village and you're relating to them. It's incest. Can't be doing them things. So this thing about people, there was a lot of intermarrying and going on from time immemorial, because that's how we grew, and how more kingdoms grew up, and more other people grew up, more public grew up. So you get different dialects in language. It's called expansion. If your population are growing, you're not all stay in one area. You expand, and Africa is a big continent to expand into. Like when we say there was a lot of maybe I'm not gonna lie, the Bantu, like the what do you call it, the Nubians, as Nubians, we did a lot of destruction. Because we wiped out a lot of people in tribes. We wiped out a lot of Khoisan tribes and a lot of Wahusi tribe. We did. But we were the babies. We done what the Europeans are doing right now. Greedy, expansive, not knowing about culture. We didn't know ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
So we did a lot of destruction in our pursuit for perfection. We know ourselves. That's why with our own histories as we came along now. I'm talking about millions. It's hard to fathom. This cannot be done in thousands of years. It's done in over millions of years. You know what I'm talking about? You see the population in Africa. So you have to think, okay, if people have been traveling up and down Africa for millions of years, how will it look like? That's how you should think about it. So you got so much diversity in Africa today. So much. Unbelievable. One person can have like 10, 20, 50 different tribes in them. This room mixture. It's madness. Because I say people travel. The idea of incest is looks down in Africa. It's like a big taboo. So people travel far and wide to get married. So now if my grandparents travel to another tribe, who made their grandparents travel from another tribe, your mixture is going to be mad. Madness when it comes to you. You know what I mean? We have to upside of looking at this tribal thing as well, because I'm telling you, you might even come from the tribe you think you come from.
Yeah. Big up everyone. You know what time it is. You get me? You ain't gotta go home. You gotta get the fuck out of here.
Big up, family.
Yeah.
Big up, Jets.
Big up the family. Yeah.
Hey, big up, Axel. It was good talking to you. Jump on more.
Big up, guys. This is my first time. More than 8 words, right, Jets?
In it.
I'm getting it. I'm getting comfortable.
You're getting better. You're getting better. We love that.
All right, big up everyone.
Yeah, man. All right. Peace.
Peace. Bye.
Hey,